Welcome back. It was 10 years ago in their third tournament together, Vania King and Yaroslava Shvedova won their first title at Wimbledon. They would go on to win the U.S. Open later that year. King would get to number 3 in the world in doubles, also a top 50 singles player. And we are so excited to welcome Vania King to Tennis Channel Live. It's great to see you, Vania. You had made a decision. You had said the retirement's going to happen after Charleston. Obviously, Charleston didn't happen. So how has this coronavirus situation affected your plans?
Well, obviously, it's affected everyone a lot. It affected me to a smaller extent. I think I put everything on pause for right now. Most likely, I won't continue playing. But I put everything on pause because, the situation is very unprecedented. So once things start opening up, I will kind of reassess all of my decisions. But earlier this year and kind of towards the end of last year, I realized that I was ready to retire. I was ready to move on. So I don't think that, these extra tournaments would have made a difference in that decision itself. But you never know.
Well, Vania, like so many players, you were ready to go, and then Indian Wells was canceled. What have you been doing since then, and where are you right now?
Oh, to answer the second question, I'm in Florida. I have a house in Boca. Indian Wells came as a surprise to all of us. Looking in hindsight, they did a great job in being proactive and taking care of the health of the players. After that, I flew back home here in preparation if Miami was going to happen, and if not, my place was here. And then, that week or two, everything started getting canceled. Like, the blocks all started to tumble. So it was at first, I think, pretty stressful. Just I think because everyone was kind of panicking, not really sure what was going to happen. But I've slowly settled into routine. I realized that I did gain some weight for the first few weeks. So I realized that I need to go back to a routine. My sister lives close by, so I babysit like 4 times a week. I bike to her place, which is about 5 miles away. I kind of have set up my training schedule to the way that it was when I played, which is I train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday with a half day. So I've kind of emulated that schedule, and it's pretty fulfilling so far. I've made do.
Yeah, it's given a lot of people some downtime, and sometimes it's easy to kind of think back on your career, what you accomplished. Do you think about that you won the 2010 Wimbledon and U.S. Open doubles with Yaroslava Shvedova? Do you think about what it was like serving it out in the Wimbledon final and then following it up at the U.S. Open? How big of an accomplishment those 2 titles were?
To be honest, I don't think about it that much. When I see some footage, obviously, it brings back those memories. And then just kind of processing the end of my career now that I am almost retired, TBD. Thinking about my whole career definitely has been there, just really appreciating what tennis has done for me, all of those moments that went by in such a flash, as like tournaments go by so quickly. And at the time I was really young. It was 10 years ago, and our career goes by really quickly. But now I think in a good way, it gives me some time to reflect and really appreciate everything that tennis has done for me, all the accomplishments that I've achieved.
One of the big subjects that was raised yesterday that's been talked about for a long time is combining the 2 tours, the WTA and the ATP. Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, Billie Jean King, all going on Twitter. What are your thoughts about unifying the women's and men's professional tours?
I think that it's a good idea. I think it's a great goal, and it's something that we should work towards. I know that there's a lot of moving pieces from an organizational standpoint, also, the tournament stakeholders and the players. There's a lot of moving pieces. So obviously there's going to need to be a lot of communication. I think as long as we're open to the goal of unification and equality, I think that there's a lot that can be done. So I think overall it's a great idea and the right direction to move into.
Well, the WTA has launched a new campaign, WTA4Love, to support communities affected by coronavirus. Tell us a bit more about the project and your involvement.
Yeah, so I actually work part-time for the WTA Charities umbrella, or the philanthropic branch of the WTA. And so as the WTA Charities has launched WTA for Love, which encompasses all of the coronavirus relief efforts. So from an organizational standpoint, the WTA has donated thousands of masks, meals, and they also support player initiatives as well. And there's a lot more that are in the works as well.
That's awesome, Vania. And you've also got your own nonprofit, Serving Up Hope, as well. So doing a lot of great work outside of the tennis court. You grew up Long Beach, California. There's another famous king from Long Beach, of course, Billie Jean.
Yep.
Both went to the same high school. When did you first get a chance to talk to Billie Jean King? Obviously, you both won Wimbledon doubles, U.S. Open doubles. And how has having her been an influence in your life and career?
I mean, Billie Jean is one of the most iconic sports people in history. And I'm proud to say that we have the same last name. I actually met Billie. I told her once before, but she didn't remember. But I met her, I think, when I was 5. I have a picture with her. There's a Billie Jean. There's a tennis center named after her, Billie Jean King Tennis Center in Long Beach. And for the opening, she came, and I was there, and so she took a picture with me. So she's always been an inspiration, a role model for what she's done for our sport and for women's equality. And overall, she's had such a great impact. And then as a tennis player, having that inspiration from somebody that's from my hometown was just and also because she didn't grow up, with a lot of money. She grew up, kind of like me, middle, lower class. So she was definitely an inspiration for me when growing up.
Tennis royalty from Long Beach, California. Gotta love it.
I can't say I'm on her caliber, but thank you.
Vania, it's great to see you. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see if we see you on a tennis court. But nonetheless, you'll be helping out with the WTA for charities. So great work, Vania.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.